Hi everyone, today I'm going to walk you through our MATLAB-based multi-approach route finder. Let's you. So that how our program works, it's flexible, user-friendly, and supports 6 different route finding methods, whether you're a beginner or more advanced. This tool gives you multiple ways to explore route solving in MATLAB. You find the roots of any equation using different numerical methods. Let's start step by step. First, we clear any existing variables and clean up the command window. Then we display the title of our tool. Now, we ask the user to input a function in terms of x. We turn that into a MATLAB function using str2 function and test it with a value to make sure it works. If it doesn't, we show an error. Next, we ask the user to enter the starting and ending values for the interval where we'll search for roots. Here, we show all available route finding methods. The user can choose one or multiple methods by typing their numbers like 1, 3, 6. If the user chooses Newton-Raphson, we try to compute the derivative of their function automatically using symbolic math. If that fails, we ask the user to enter it manually. We let the user know that we're about to begin solving for the roots. We go through each method the user picked. Based on their choices, we call the correct function to do the calculation. If something goes wrong in any method, we show an error message but keep going with the rest. Once all methods are done, we thank the user and end the program. So that's how our program works. It's flexible, user-friendly, and supports 6 different route finding methods. Whether you're a beginner or more advanced, these tools gives you multiple ways to explore route solving in MATLAB. This is bisection. Let's start with the bisection routes function. This is the main function that runs the bisection method. It takes 2 inputs, the function we're trying to find roots for and the interval where we want to look for those roots. First, we just display a nice title in the console to show that we're running the bisection route finder. There are 3 things that the user to ask. Number 1, step size. That how far we move along the x-axis while scanning for sign changes. Number 2, the tolerance. How close we want to get the actual root. Number 3, how the maximum number of iterations to avoid infinite loops. Then we call the helper function locate roots bisection, which actually scans the interval and finds all the roots using the bisection method. It returns a list of found roots and the logs of each iteration. If no roots are found, we just print a message saying nothing was found. But if roots are found, we display them nicely in the console. After that, we show the detailed iteration table and a graph that plots the function and highlights the roots. Now, let's look at locate roots bisection, the function that scans through the whole interval. We define the left and right ends of interval and prepare empty arrays to store the roots and logs. We use loop to scan from left to right instead. For each small chunk, we define a start and end, making sure we don't go past the right end. We evaluate the function at the start and the end of the chunk. If the function changes sign between the 2 points, we know there's a route in between. If the function changes sign between the 2 points, we know there's a route in between. To avoid duplicates, we only save the root if it's not already found within the given tolerance. We also store the iteration details. Then we move to the next chunk of the interval and repeat. This function actually runs the core bisection algorithm between 2 points A and B. We start with the empty log and set its iteration count to 0. We keep going as long as our interval is still bigger than the tolerance and we haven't hit the max number of iteration. Each time we calculate the midpoint and the function values at A, B, and mid, we save this info to our log for later display. If the root is between A and mid, we move B and N. Otherwise, we move A and this keeps narrowing down the range. Once we're done, the final root estimate is the midpoint of our last narrowed interval. This function prints the iteration logs in a nice table format. If the log is empty, we just tell the user we create a header for the table and a line separator. And then we look through the log and print each row of iteration data. Finally, this function creates a graph that shows the function and highlights the routes we found. We generate 1000 x values across our range and compute the function values for all of them. We create a new figure, hold it, and plot the function in blue. We also draw the x-axis as a dot line. For each route we put a red square on the graph and label it with its value. We add a title, axis, labels, a legend, turn on the grid, and finally release the figure. So that's the complete flow of our bisection method module. From scanning the interval, locating sign changes, performing the actual method, logging everything, and finally plotting the result. This is the graphical. Let me walk you through this MATLAB function called Visual Root Locator, which help us find approximate routes of a function by looking at where the graph crosses the x-axis. This is the start of our function. We give it is a function, a range of x values, how many points to sample, and a small threshold to help detect routes close to 0. If the user doesn't give us how many points to check or how close to 0 is 0, we just use some default values, 1000 points and a tiny threshold. We create evenly spaced x values from the range and then calculate the function values for each point. This will store the routes we find and some info about how we found them. We go through every pair of neighboring x values to look for sign changes. We graph the function values at 2 neighboring x points. If the signs are different, that means the graph crosses the x-axis. A route is between them. We estimate the route as the midpoint between the two x values. We save this detected route. If the function value is already super close to 0, that's our route 2. This checks that we're not detecting the same route twice too close together. Then we save it just like before. Now we print out a summary of what we found. If there are routes, we list them. Let's draw the graph of the function and also draw the x-axis as a dashed line for reference. For every route we found, plot a blue marker at the spot and add the small label to show its value. We finish off the graph with the title, x labels, and a nice grid to make everything clear. So that's the whole idea. This function checks where the graph crosses the x-axis or touches it near 0 and give us a list of possible routes and a visual to go with it. This is incremental. This is the main function. We give it as a function fx and the range x bounds to search for roots. We define a small step side called dx. This controls how finely we scan along the x-axis. Here we call a helper function to actually do the step-by-step root search. It gives us box any root find and log of each step. This section prints out a clean summary, the search range, step size, and the roots found. If we have any step log, we print a nice table that shows what happened at every step of the scan. We now prepare data to plot the function from start to the end of our range. Next, we plot the function in green and draw the x-axis as a dashed line. For each root we found, we mark it was a colored circle on the graph and add a label. We wrap up the graph with a title axis labels a legend and a grid. This helper function does the real work. It walks from left to right, then right in small step, checking where the function changes sign. We look through the interval, moving one small step at a time. At each step, we calculate the function at the current and next point. If the signs are different, the function crosses the x-axis, so there's a root. We estimate the root as a midpoint between the two steps. This line prevents us from logging the same root multiple times if they're very close together. We record every step in a log so we can display it later as a table. Then we move to the next step and repeat. So in short, this function walks across your range in small steps, watches for sign changes to detect roots, shows you as a table of steps, and give you as a clean graph to visualize everything. This is regular falsies. I'll walk through to our MATLAB code find roots using the regular falsi method step by step in a simple and friendly way. This is the starting point. We name our function regular falsi solver, and it needs a function and a range to search. Here we set the basic rules, the size of each step, the level of accuracy we want, and the maximum number of tries. Next, we break the interval into smaller parts and apply the regular falsi method on each one. This is done by a helper function. This section shows what settings we were using, like the interval, the step size, and the tolerance. If no roots are found, it tells us, but if it doesn't and does find roots, it prints out each one nicely. Now we prepare a neat table header to show how the method with step by step, like left and right points, estimate errors and function values. Then we go through each iteration and print the data row by row. If there's no error value yet, we just leave a dash. Here we prepare the x and y values to graph the function smoothly. Now we draw the curve and the x-axis for reference. For every root we found, we mark it with a colored square and add a label with its value. Lastly, we set the title, label the axis, shows the legend, and turn on the grid to make the graph clearer. This helper checks every sub-interval to see if there's might be a root using a step-by-step scan. If there's a sign changes or either end is close to 0, we apply the regular falsi method using the another helper function. If a new root is far enough from the others, we save it. This is where the actual regular falsi iteration happen. We give the values of the function at the left and right. Set up no roots yet, no previous guess, and we start the iteration 1. If the function doesn't cross the x-axis here, we just stop. In loop, we calculate the next guess using the regular falsi formula. We check if it's close enough to be root. If yes, we stop. Otherwise, we update the interval depending on the sign and keep going. And that's it. This is code scan. A given interval zooms into parts where a root might exist and uses circular falsi to zoom in until we find the root accurately. Then we log and plot everything neatly. I'm going to walk you through how this MATLAB code uses the Newton-Raphson method to automatically find and show all the roots of a given function with a certain interval. It's efficient, visual, and even give us a log of iteration. Let's break it down, yo. This is our main function. We give it as a function, its derivative, and a search interval like a and b, and it finds all the roots inside. These are the settings. Total is the accuracy we want. Step size is how far we move between guesses, and max iterators is the max number of tries per root. Just a message to show what interval and setting we're using. This calls another function that scans the interval, tries Newton method at each step and finds unique roots. If no roots are found, we print a sad message. Otherwise, we show all the roots nicely. We make an X range and evaluate the function of graphing. We start a new plot, draw the function and a dash line for y equals to 0. For every root we found, we plot a colorful dot and label it. Just label the plot to make it look clean and easy to read. If we save logs, we convert them into a table and display each iteration step clearly so we know how Newton method got each root. This tries to find one root starting from initial guess using Newton-Raphson. It loves through computing f, x, the next guess, and the error until it's accurately enough. We avoid division by 0 if the derivative is flat. We save every step so we can later analyze or display. This scans the entire interval from A to B, applying single root Newton at each step. It tries Newton method at many starting points and collects root plus logs. Before saving a root, it checks if it's new or just a repeat using the tolerance. This simple helper checks if a new root is different from what we've already found. So that's it. This script automatically scan interval applies Newton-Raphson from multiple starting points, filters out duplicates, shows how the plot with all rows marked, and even give us a step-by-step iteration table. Today, I will walk you through my MATLAB code that finds roots of a function using the secant method and even checks for multiple roots across a given interval. We start by creating a main function that accepts a function of function f and a search interval like a and b. We define how precise we want the roots 1a minus 5, how many step max per root 100, and how far we jump across the interval 0.5. We print out some basic info for the user about the setup. Now we call a helper function that actually searches for the roots using secant logic. If no roots are found, we say no. Otherwise, we list all the roots we found. This part set up column headers and then print each iteration values. x0, x1, their function values, next guess, x2, and error. We graph the function over the range in purple. This draws the x-axis so we can spot where the graph crosses 0. For each root, We mark it visually and label it nicely above the point. This helper looks through the sub-intervals and call another function per section. It divides the big interval into smaller ones. It tries the second method on each sub-interval. We save the iteration step for output display. Only unique roots are saved to the list. This part is the real second method. It updates x0 and x1 until we get close enough to the root. This is the second formula, new guess based on two previous points. We compute relative errors to know when to stop. This tiny function helps us avoid duplicates by checking if our root is close to one we already found. So what does this program do? Takes a function, scan an interval, runs a second method multiple times, logs every step, detects multiple roots, plots everything clearly. It's accurately clear and great for analyzing complex functions visually. And that's all guys. Thank you for watching. I hope this demo give you deeper appreciation of numerical methods and how powerful MATLAB can be visualizing math in action. Thank you guys.